All right, let's get started. So truthfully, I have not seen anything so far. So let's get started with today. All right, so let's get started with today, right? So we have NZD CAD, right? Let's actually just bring all this down. Take this off, take this off. Let's start with AUD USD. AUD USD, we were looking for shorts pretty much at the breakup structure under the zone right here. We never got it. We're still waiting for this trade. Weekly is still bearish, rejection from this structure. I love how this weekly wick is under this one. Daily. It's an okay daily candlestick. We didn't engulf it, so that's a little bit of a turn off. Yeah, so my trade remains the same. I just need for price here to do this. So I just put this there last week. I'll just put it here again this week. We're gonna wait for AUD USD to pretty much do the same. You notice we're above this strong level of support. Our goal is to sell it whenever we're under for it to have a move to the downside. We have all time frames pretty much bearish. So I want to go to the downside. NZD CAD. NZD CAD is a very solid trade setup. I think the weekly can come back and properly retest this zone right here because I feel like it just didn't touch it strong enough. So I feel like we could come back in, grab into even a little bit higher, right? Grab into these bodies here into the zone. Like have a body candlestick here, even touch the EMA before heading to the upside, or even potentially go even lower. Like if you notice, it's creating like lower high structure so it reaches this area of interest to then actually have the swing shift to the upside. So it's like obviously like a bigger picture trade, and that's kind of what I'm seeing now. I'm basically day trading it because I love how the daily's looking. Left head, right shoulder, sell at the retest of the neckline, retest of the EMA, retest the structure, 4-hour EMA. You could have gotten the trade here, or you could have gotten the trade in here. Like I pretty much predicted both of them. This is the easier one to get in because you didn't have to go through what I went through here, which is pretty much see the trade, go into profit, come back into the blues, and then go back into the red and then come back. So this trade, I didn't go break even because I knew this kind of thing was going to happen. Should I have gone break even? 100%. But they're just trades that you just know how they're going to fluctuate. So I think this now can, if this body closes under this right here, if this candlestick body closes under this, I think it's pretty much free zone all the way to here. But I think if a body closes under, it can have another little pullback, lower high, probably into this zone right here, retest this structure before then it actually makes it to the bottom here. So for me this week is just holding this trade or seeing if we could get back in. But NZD CAD, the trade was here. Pretty much waited for the pullback, and then the other trade was here, which we all know exactly what we were looking for. So NZD CAD for now will still remain as a 1. Euro USD. Euro USD, we are bullish on this time frame. The daily time frame is bullish as well. Yeah, we are bullish. And then the 4-hour, we are technically bullish. Yeah, not a big fan of where it is right now, honestly. Because I don't want to get in. Like if you guys notice where we're getting in, and I feel like this is where a lot of people just don't know how to see it. Like I want to get at the weekly and the daily, this point right here, at this point, at the lower high, lower high, lower high, or if we're buying at the higher low, right? Right now we're not there. We're like in the middle of the higher high. Like does that make sense? Like we're not right here. We're not right here in this trade. We're literally like right here. So we kind of like messed our entry kind of in the trade for it to be the most ideal. So that's why for me, like this trade just doesn't make any sense, right? So we'll put that at the bottom. Euro AUD. This is one that I was expecting last week. Pretty much just waiting for the breakout out of this. We got it, little retest. This is just being choppy, but it goes back to the point that I just made. It's like, where are we on the move? It's just really simple. Where are we? Are we here? 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 Where are we? And in this move, we're pretty much like at the high right now. Like we had just broken above the high. So we don't know if this is going to keep going or from here to have a retrace. It's just not where I want to be in a trade. The daily time frame is just consolidating from this point. What would be fire, a very fire trade would be this. If we could get this, that would be beautiful. Obviously, we'd be going against the weekly, but the weekly is kind of maybe do a retracement. For me, it's just this zone, right? This zone is very well respected. Whenever we're above, we're buying. Whenever we're under, we're selling. Whenever we're above, we're buying. Whenever we're under, we're selling. Right now, we're above. So if we manage to break out of this breakout under, and then we retest it, for me, it'll be a beautiful day trade to the downside to the previous zone. But for the time being, if it until it doesn't do that, I'm not going to be interested. But I'll just add an alarm here so it can remind me. Strong support and resistance level. Euro JPY. Not interested. I mean, I guess a little higher low here, but not interested. Euro AUD, we just did that one. Gold. This is all Dutches. I mean, this is very simple, right? So this is exactly what we want to see. So gold, we are right here right now, right? We're pretty much halfway to the area where we would want price to come back to then buy, right? So we're pretty much missing this right here. We're missing this pullback, so it comes to here, and then we get the push to the upside. We get this, right? We could continue the swing going up. So for now, gold for me, I'm not interested in until it doesn't come to this level. If you notice, the daily is kind of like slowing down probably to get to there. Probably the same time we get here, this EMA catches up. Same thing with gold. I'm not interested in. Euro GBP weekly is bullish. You notice higher high, higher low. We are yet to break under that. The daily time frame is bearish, right? Technically, we are at a nice zone. I'm good. Just doesn't make sense right off the bat. AUD CAD, we were not looking for sales last week, but we were expecting the momentum. I mean, so AUD CAD, if this next weekly candlestick does this wick right here, it creates a weekly wick pullback to this area. We'll just flip the zone. Just the middle of it. So we have support, resistance, resistance, support, support, weekly EMA, go down to the daily time frame, daily level of support, support, go down to the 4 hour. It's also where the 4 hour EMA is. But if we go there, then the 4 hour goes bullish. I'll just wait for it here, right? So creating weekly wick. So we'll add that there for now. NZD USD. NZD USD, it's very similar to AUD. No, what was it? NZD CAD. Obviously, because they're both NZD. We're rejecting from this point. A lot, like, look how long this has been stuck here. This has been stuck here 22 days, a whole month. This has just been stuck in the same exact move. Beautiful higher highs and higher low. Like, imagine you had a trend line strategy right now. You think you're golden. You think you're a hero. This is probably like the beginning of like the IML days. Yeah, bro, we got 3 touches to the trend line. Yeah, no, that's not how this works. I'm not interested in it. USD JPY. Bullish engulfing from structure level. Daily. So like this looks solid, right? So like this looks beautiful. All right, so look, so we have weekly time frame. I mean, it's still bearish because we have higher high, higher low, higher high, and then lower low, lower high. We never broke above it, so the weekly time frame is still bearish. The daily time frame is bullish because we notice this is the daily shift the structure, lower low, lower high, lower low. We have now shifted it. So I need a daily higher low. So I need like I pretty much need this, right? I literally just need this. Give me this pullback and then we could buy. It's exactly what we're waiting for here. We have just had the breakout. So I need a little retest to then buy. And if you notice on the 4-hour, will be I mean you can literally just see it, right? Like if you look at it, it literally looks perfect. It looks exactly like what you want to see. You start seeing these swing trades down, these bearish pushes down, it stops out of nowhere and then it shifts, and then that's where everything just starts shifting to the upside. If you notice here, we are having the downward move again, and then we have shifted. We're right at that area right now where we're about to start heading up. Where we are right here is literally right here. This same shift has just shifted right here. What do you have here? Left head, right shoulder, inverse head and shoulders at the bottom of a trend. So for me, it would just be, I need to get in at this area, right? I need price to have a pullback. I know where, like, this has to create a wick. If you notice that daily candlestick hasn't created a wick, and once it does create that wick, that means that this price has to come all the way back into here and create the wick. Once it creates the wick, that's where we get in our entry. So I actually really like this one. Move this one up. GJ, can you remember the last time I traded GJ? I'm good. CAD JPY, pulling up to a very strong area. We notice we resistance. So we're clearly bearish here. This is actually very solid. I don't know why I have these black lines. So there is now bullish. I mean, this trade is very easy, not gonna lie. All right, so we're obviously bearish on the weekly time frame, and we're putting up to a weekly area of interest, kind of. I'm sure we could get more touches if we drag it to the left. So we have structure, which is pretty much where we are right now, is right here. We're at this area right here where we can potentially obviously have the push to the downside. So that's obviously where I like catching my trades. We notice that's basically where we are, right? If we just adjust it. So we're right there. Daily time frame, we are bullish. We notice we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So we're now bullish on the daily, but we know the daily has to go bullish. So the weekly has the lower high. And then if you notice, this is like probably one of the most beautiful things of this trade. I need to wait for the shift of structure to then sell. So the shift of the 4-hour structure, the break and then the retest, of the 4-hour is also going to be the break and the retest of the 1-hour higher low. So that means that the 1-hour will be bearish. We'll be retesting structure, retesting EMA, retesting 4-hour structure. By that time, retesting EMA, and at the same time, retesting the daily EMA rejection from area of interest. Like, you guys see how many things I'm just like adding once it breaks and it shifts that structure there point. So this one's actually very, very, very solid. We just pretty much need that rejection. So we would just need like a bearish engulfing here. Once you get the bearish engulfing, then we just need the wick pullback, and then we could just continue selling to the downside. So this is actually a very solid trade setup. NZD JPY, I'm sure it looks very similar, right? Because it's a JPY pair. Very solid as well. We're at a very nice structure point right here. Daily, we have a very beautiful rejection candlestick. See, we keep going. 4 hour, 1 hour. Yeah, I like how CAD JPY looks better if I were to pick. GBP CHF, waiting on the same thing. Nothing's happened. GU, crazy. Set and forget. Let the trend be your friend. I'm good, even though I think it's going to continue going up. AUD JPY. AUD look at this. This is exactly how I like catching my trades. I like catching my trades here. Once we're at this area, having the lower high pullback. Daily time frame, we are bearish. No, we're technically bullish, right? We body closed the bubble. We have a daily bearish rejection candlestick. And we go down to the 4 hour. 4 hour has higher low, higher low. We haven't shifted, but then the 1 hour has shifted. If you notice, the 1 hour has shifted to the downside. So this one's actually pretty much ready to. If you were to ask me, I still like CAD JPY better. Because once it breaks, it's just going to look a lot cleaner. So I like CAD JPY better. USD CAD, we were looking for longs at this point here. Obviously, we were extremely wrong. Let's delete this. The weekly time frame is having a beautiful pullback. Daily time frame is now bearish. I think we're gonna make it here. I'm good. And these are all the pairs that I already took out. All right, so we are. I don't think we have a UD CAD. Yeah, we do, but not really. I think so. Not there. All right, so for this week, we have NZD CAD for continuation sells. So all we pretty much have to do is just wait for the lower high to sell, or we're just going to keep monitoring it because, the entry of the trade was pretty much already gone. AUD USD, we know we are accumulating heavily in this zone right here. So once we get that break and retest, we can take a nice solid day trade to the downside. We have Euro AUD, which is kind of like a counter trend trade. But if it happens, it happens, and that's where the trade would make sense. So that would be the break and retest of that structure level. I like CAD JPY and USD JPY. The only bad thing about these two is that they kind of like contradict each other because they're supposed to do the same thing. You notice we have bullish trend, big pullback, bullish trend, big pullback, right? Because they are both have JPY. So it's pretty much whichever one makes the most sense. And I like having this, right? Because if this one breaks this structure level and it retests it, given my bearish engulfing and all that, this is probably going to have the pullback, but it'll probably break under the zone and then do this. And I'm like, all right, so now this trade makes obviously more sense than the other one. So I like having all of these pairs. If I were to organize it based off of the order, I would have CAD JPY as my second, AUD USD as my third, USD JPY as my fourth, and then Euro AUD as my last one, just to entertain it like if we have a high risk trade. So that is the pairs for the week.